Hello dear friends, welcome back to React.js tutorials. In this session, we are going to understand state in React. So, React state is a built-in object that is used to store or represent the data or information about the component. So, as you know, we create different components in React application, and the data and information of each component can be represented by the React state. So a component state can change over a time. Whenever it changes, the component re-renders. So how the components get re-rendered when the state of the component is changed. So state is basically a built-in object, how it is get changed and how the components are rendered that we are going to understand in this session. So let's start working on a simple React application. So here a simple React application is created and on which the welcome message is displayed and the output of this will be displayed like this. So here what we'll do is we'll create a simple component. So for creating component I'm moving towards this source folder. I'm creating a simple component folder in this application, React application. So for that I'm going to right click on source folder and choosing the new folder and creating the components folder. And inside the component folder, I'm going to create a new file called login state demo.js is a file. And in this file, we'll create a React class based component. So for adding the React class based component, so shortcut is React class based component RCC. If this component works if the ES7 extension is added in Visual Studio Code. So this shortcut will add an React class based component. So here we'll create a constructor inside this class. So for creating constructor, we have constructor keyword and we have to take the props to this constructor and we have to pass this props to the base class of this login state demo. So here I'm going to call the super function and passing this props to this base component. So after that, we have to create a state of this particular component. For creating the state of this component, we'll create this dot state is equal to. Inside this state, we'll create a simple variable called message, and we'll specify the value to this variable as click on the button to login. Okay. So this is the simple message that I want to create and we'll create a button and the button text will specify here button text as login. We'll change this button text as login to logout after the state of the component is changed and the component gets re-rendered automatically. Now this is the two variable that I have created in this state object. So now we'll move towards displaying these two variables, value of these two variable here on this component. So for that I'm going to create a simple h1 message, h1 tag, and inside this I'm going to specify this dot state dot message. And after this we'll specify the break and then we'll specify the message, we'll specify the button. So for creating button we'll use button tag and on this button we'll specify the text as this dot state dot button text. Okay, and Once the button is clicked, we have to change the text of this button. Now, first we'll see how this component looks. So I'm going to use this component here. So for using this component in app.js, I'm moving toward this app.js and I'm going to specify here login state demo. So this component will automatically gets imported. So here the import statement will automatically gets added when I save it. So after adding this login state demo, we'll get an output like this. Now we're going to change this message to click on button to log out. When we click on this login button, we want to change the message here. Click on the button to log out, and we want to change the login text as log out. So now, so for that again, I'm moving to this login state component. Now, what we'll do is we'll specify the click handler of this button. So for that, I'm writing here on click is equal to this dot button click will be the method that I'm going to define. So for defining this method, we'll move towards this class, and after the definition of constructor, we'll define the arrow function button click, and inside this function, we'll write a code. We'll change the state of this. We'll change the values of this variable. So to change the values of this variable or to change the state of this object, we'll call the setState function. So for that we'll use setState, and inside this setState function we'll specify these two variables. For that I'm going to copy these two variables and changing the message as click on the button to log out, and here the button text as logout button text as logout. Now we'll see whether this particular thing will work when we click on this button. So for that button click, we have written this button click method, arrow method. Now we'll move, and when you click on this, we'll get a message here logout. Now once again, when we click on this logout, we want here the message as login and button text as login. So how it can be displayed? So for that, I'm going to create one more variable inside this state called CNT and specifying the value of this CNT variable as 0. Then first we'll check the value of this CNT variable. If the this dot state dot CNT is equal to 0, this dot CNT, no need to use this state, this dot CNT is equal to 0. If this is the case, we want to specify the message as this logout, and CNT is equal to 1. We'll specify the value of variable CNT is 1. Now what we'll do is, if this is not the case, in else part we'll write in else part we'll write what we'll write the same code. We'll write the same code to specify the text on the button is login. So for that I'm writing here login and click on the button to login. Now we'll see whether this particular code is working here. So initial value of the CNT variable is 0. I'm checking the value of CNT variable is 0. If it is 0, then I want to display the message as logout. So for that I'm changing the state of this component as component. I'm changing the data of this state. Message is equal to click on button to logout and button text equal to logout, and changing the value of CNT variable to 1. When we click on the same button next time, it will move toward the else part, and we'll change the message as click on the button to login and button text as 0, and once again we'll change the CNT value of CNT is 0. Now we'll see whether it works. specify here state dot cnt is equal to 0. Now we'll see again. So now it's working. Now it is working. So in this way, we can change the state of the component. I hope you understand how the components is being used in React.js. Thank you.